Sedimentary cycle is the process of removing minerals from an existing rock, transporting and depositing them, and finally, buying them. Minerals and rock fragments in first cycle sediments are less resistant. The less resistant minerals will be deleted or changed to more stable products if this material is processed a second time. The more sedimentary cycles a sediment has undergone, the more mature it will become, with well-rounded refractory minerals dominating. The reservoir for sedimentary cycles are found in the Earth's crust or rocks. The Earth's sediments are rich in nutrient elements. Iron, calcium, phosphorus, sulfur, and other earthbound elements are all part of the sedimentary cycle, while carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen are moved by the atmosphere. Phosphorus is moved by the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. That's all for the sedimentary cycle. Thank you.
As for the phosphorus cycle, in relation to the sedimentary cycle, phosphorus is first found in rocks, which then travels naturally through weathering and goes to the soil or the ocean, and is then absorbed directly by the plants, which then start the chain reaction of phosphorus absorption as it passes the mineral to other producers such as animals and even to us humans. At the end of the phosphorus cycle, where plants or animals decompose, bacteria then turn inorganic phosphorus into organic phosphorus in a process called mineralization. What's left after this process of mineralization is that the phosphorus may then travel to bodies of water, in which they are once again put to use by the producers, or that in relation to the sedimentary cycle, the mineralized phosphorus will be buried in sediments, which may over time turn into rock until it goes back to the very start of the cycle. As to why phosphorus is very important to living beings, phosphorus is a requirement for cells to produce ATP, which is a component that drives the processes of living cells and gives it energy to function. It also forms the backbone of DNA and also makes up our cell membranes. In other words, phosphorus is a very crucial and often taken for granted component that enables life to flourish here on Earth.
The activities of human civilization are significantly changing the chemical makeup of the Earth. It has a huge impact on both the biogeochemical cycle on land, such as sedimentary cycle and phosphorus cycle. With the sedimentary cycle, typical or natural factors that impact the cycle emerge from river runoffs, climatic bliss, and glacial shift. Although the anthropogenic effect into the cycle is at least less extent than that of nature, the existence of man has magnified some of the natural or environmental factors. Landscape changes, for example, have risen by a factor of 2 or 3 the rate of the natural weathering, which depicts the sole and most crucial input to the cycle. Perhaps more important than the total cycle are studies of anthropogenic effects that serves as pollutants. Man is the major or an agent for input of many elements such as organic and certain exotic chemicals, and rival to nature in others such as heavy metals and other inorganic materials. On the other hand, phosphorus cycle is continuous and significant mechanism in the Earth. Since natural phosphorus uptake is sluggish, people have changed the cycle by multiplying extraction from the lithosphere to the environments. Human actions such as mining phosphorus and conveying it into fertilizers, animal feeds, agricultural crops, and other products are affecting the global phosphorus cycle, causing phosphorus to expand in some world soil. These activities have ended up into runoffs from farm water into pools and lakes, which then turn phosphorus rich. The enrichment has in turn resulted in algal blooms. The algal blooms take out dissolved oxygen from the water bodies, which kills off aquatic lives and affect ecological system inland.
Invasive species are living organism that is not native to its ecosystem. These types of species are harmful to the environment due to the lack of predators as well as the added competition in the ecosystem. The example of such invasive species are the lionfish that originated from the Indo-Pacific and the Red Sea and are now repopulating in the coastal shore of Florida. There's also as well the tumbleweed, which originated from the Scotland in South Dakota but are now infested in America. Invasive species happen due to intentional or unintentional human transportation, as well as the climate change that had adverse effect to the ecosystem that forces an animal or any living being to migrate to other ecosystems.
We live in a world where we are part of a cell that builds our body. Genes that showcase our makeup and characteristics inherited through our parents. The phenotype and genotype of a flower having a dominant and recessive traits. This is what he calls epigenetics. Epigenetics is a study of changes in the genes without the changes in the DNA sequence. Epigenetics is also affected by the changes into our environment, such as toxicity in soil, industrial pollution, and improper waste disposal. The pollution in soil can cause a variety of diseases and health problems. An example of these are kidney and liver damage and different forms of cancer. Environment are connected to epigenetics that even a small change can cause a risk into our genetic makeup. There is also so-called epigenetic modifications in which it illustrates the way the cell stops the functioning of the brain cells, skin cells, and other cells into our body.